This race starts off a little bit differently than the rest of them do, and we're going to start off with something we've never done before, and that is a mistake here in qualifying. Not to say that we've never made a mistake in qualifying, but we usually never show qualifying because qualifying is boring, but something actually happened here. And our second lap, our push lap, we had a huge error, and we only have our first lap time, which is going to put us at P10, and that starts us at a very interesting place for a mile and a half like Atlanta here, because we're really going to have to fight our way up. And the field was pretty tight, as you could see, so we're in the thick of it now, and it's a situation that you don't normally do well in. At least that's the experience that I'm having currently in iRacing. Starting in the middle of the field is oh boy, like, good luck, like, sincerely, because there's going to be some chaos, and the chances of you getting through it unscathed are pretty low, and that's I think I think it's rare to get out of a situation like that without some damage, so to say. So you can see there were some sketchy moments earlier, some cars getting into the wall on the last lap, and now we got a blinker in the 9 car in front of us. So a little bit annoying, and then we see there 2 cars make contact. It's 2 free positions for us, but now we are amidst the blinker and the wall rider. So still in the thick of it, but things are getting easier and easier every single lap. That little gaggle of cars in front of us looks nice and competitive. Definitely want to try to bridge our way up to them as we check out where we are on the relative. In the first 2 laps, we get ourselves up to 7th position. And again, remember, there were 2 positions for free as they wrecked each other in front of us. And, but we'll take them any way that we can get them, especially at this point early in the race. If you can make up 2 positions on the track for not having to do anything and burn any tires, that's a win, and I'll take it. And speaking of not burning any tires, we need to get into the strategy conversation, but let's talk about one more situation where we get 2 free positions. That was pretty quick. So this is the second worst track I've been at for tire life. The first one was Auto Club, because really all that race was save as much as you can early and you will win late. That was the only strategy, considering there was only 1 line there at Auto Club. Here we are at Old Atlanta, 2008, and as the car goes through the tire life, we are going to go from the bottom line to the top, and go from and between those 2, we're going to go from like a wide entry down to the apex of the corner late and straighten off our exit. So the tire and the track kind of come alive as we go through this race, and you can see the car and need some more steering input as we go, and we can see we're about a third of the way through the race here now, just outside of the podium position, and this is now where the car starts to behave a little differently, and you can see we're trying new lines. We're trying the top line here, having some success, and of course the difference between the top and the bottom is you get that fantastic run on the top because you're able to get on the throttle much earlier, as opposed to on the bottom you can enter harder, but your exit is a little bit slower. So here we are trying some new position on the track, new lines on the track rather, to try to get ourselves up into that top position, but still, again, not trying to just give it everything we got and move ourselves up there quickly. We're trying to really save as much tire as we can, because again, to talk about the difference between, Auto Club, our experience at Auto Club, and here, there are some variables here. You do need to save some tire. It's not just going to be a race to save the most amount of tire. Again, there's going to be some people getting in the wall. That is going to have a huge consequence here at Atlanta than I think anywhere else that I've raced in the ARCA series so far this season. And once someone taps the wall here, they really just fly backwards in the field, and they really have a hard time overcoming that small mistake. You're going to see that car, the 8 car, do it here. Again, they kind of corrected that, what would be, I think, okay at a regular track, but then when we get up to speed on the start-finish, they just fall back behind us. So I knew this race I have to stay away from the wall. There's no way to touch the wall, and that will coincide with the way to save tires. And and at this point in the race, you know, lap 15 at 35, we're not even halfway through. It's, I think, paramount to avoid contact with the wall. Speaking of contact, things get a little rough between me and Nick Saban there with this Alabama car as we go back and forth for the lead, but luckily we were both able to keep things respectful, as that was just a little bit of an accident. But again, that kind of tap against the wall would have been catastrophic, so thankfully that kind of tap was just between the two of us. And I'm not too worried at this point in the race about keeping the lead. I kind of don't want it at this point in the race anyway. It seems a little bit too early for the group of cars that we've got so close and still fighting for position. And it's also, in my point of view, it's easier to be the dog chasing the rabbit than it is to be the rabbit. It's much easier to make a mistake, I think, as the rabbit, enter your corner a little bit wrong. And also, not even that, you can just learn from the cars in front of you if you're chasing them. So there's a lot of good reason to be right behind the leader instead of in the lead for me right now. And we're racing pretty clean, so I'm not too worried about them getting argy-bargy, a little too wild for our passes when they need to come. But I'm also just kind of taking the race as it comes to me. I'm not trying to force anything, but I will say when the time is right, I need to be cunning and opportunistic and take the opportunities and realize when it is smart to burn some tire, like right here when I have a whole line to myself, the preferred line, and I have a run. It's time to take it. So at this point in the race, lap 18, I'm going to use this high line run to my advantage, and the cars below me just don't take it. And that one car, the 8 car behind me, just doesn't take quite full advantage of it like I do. And that's going to send us back into the lead for the second time from lap 20. And things are looking really good from us at this point, and it's just, again, keeping the tires in check now that we're in the lead, hitting our marks, keeping the tires in check. And I found, I know I just said the opposite of this, and that was a generality about being the dog versus the rabbit, but I found at Atlanta it was much more clear where the limit is on your car and how you approach it when it comes to your throttle and your tire wear. So I did feel that in this race in particular at this track, it was nice to be able to run by feel on the front, because it really was just me on the limit of the tires, and from that point you can really accurately dial in where you're at and where you're burning the tire and how much of it you're saving, as opposed to going really slow and not using your tires because you're just going so slow that they're not getting used. But at that point you're so far off the pace that it's not worth the tire saved, if that makes sense. So I'm really trying to find that line between actually correctly spending the tire as currency, so to say, if I'm thinking about it like that. And as we get to these final laps, you can see that car number 2 is 2 seconds behind us, and as we get now to 3 laps to go, he's catching us really, really closely and really quickly. He's definitely coming hard from behind, and my tires are starting to wear off, and you're going to notice how much more steering input I'm going to have to put in the corner to make the same corner, and how much slower my lap time is. At this point in the race, we're running 34.1s. That's pretty slow compared to the 32s that we were capable of. And so you can see the car here just pushing up outside to the wall. It's just plowing through the corner. I'm just praying that this guy can stay away and that I can hold him off long enough for this race to come to me. And I'm just thinking this entire time, please finish, please finish. I just want this checkered flag. I want to see the white flag. Every lap I'm hoping for it, and there we go. I will say, I think this guy behind us, Austin, we recall he was a green and chrome car that we passed earlier in the race. I think he tried to save too much tire. I think, like we talked about earlier, you're just going too slow and you're not actually saving tire. There's a difference between the two, and I think he just went slow. And this is an auto club, so he couldn't just use his tires to automatically convert into pace. At this track, you got to do a little bit more, and I think he took his lunges. I think you're going to see a couple lunges not there because, you know, he had no other time. but there to do it. I think he took some inopportune lunges when he had the raw pace to make a pass. So that's going to be a win for us. Really loved that win, and really, this was my best burnout as well. some best of my best donuts to really celebrate that win. I will leave you guys with it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.